guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're gonna react to 50 things that are only possible in Australia. So we are doing like a journey about Australia and getting to know the country and the wildlife and the funny parts and the beautiful parts about it. So today we're gonna continue it with this video. So we are very curious to see these 50 things.
Yes.
And but before starting the video, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and follow us on Instagram. So let's watch.
50 things are a lot of things that are only possible in Australia.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious.
Okay, it's pop quiz time. Which country has the longest fence in the world? How about the second largest Greek population?
I know it.
Australia?
3 times more sheep than people? Okay,
Can I listen
one
to?
word will give it away. Kangaroos! Yeah, I'm
Okay.
talking about the land down under. So, what do you know about Australia? So, let's start with the name. Australia comes from the Latin word australis, which means southern. Way back in the 2nd century, there were legends of a mysterious Terra Australis Incognita, or unknown southern land. Well, now it's very known, so let's get to know more about it. Despite the stereotypes of hot, sunny weather year-round, the Australian Alps, which are the highest mountain range in the country, get more snow than the Swiss Alps do. Better grab your
really?
skis. The world's longest
Crazy.
national highway is in Australia. It stretches for over 9,000 miles. For comparison, the Earth's diameter is about 7,900 miles. It's actually a network of
basically
highways that connects
crossing
all
the
capitals
country.
of the mainland states.
Yeah.
Now,
you know.
I'm sure you've heard of the Great Wall of China. But what
Yeah.
about the Great Fence of Australia?
Never
That's
heard
not
of
what it's
that.
called, but still, the Dingo Fence in southeast Australia stretches for nearly 3,500
Bingo?
miles.
The dog.
For comparison, it would easily cover the entire span of the U.S., from Los Angeles to Houghton, Maine.
Wow.
Now, it might
Why
not
did they
be
make it?
so surprising
Maybe
to
to
know
keep
that
the
Australia is
animal
huge.
one
It's about the
side
same
or the
size
other.
as the continental U.S.
You guys
About
let us know, please.
2,500 miles
I need
wide.
to know that.
The distance from the west to east coast is further than Barcelona to Moscow. In all, Australia is the world's 6th largest country and the only one that's also a whole continent. But with all that territory, over 80% of Australians live within 60 miles of the...
Is his own continent? Is a New Zealand in Oceania, Australia too?
Huh.
Wait,
I don't know,
maybe
because I know there are different ways to consider continents. So some people would say Australia is a continent. Some people
And
would
New
say
Zealand.
Oceania is a continent.
Yeah, but if
Well, then I
Australia
don't
is a
know.
continent, then New Zealand is
It's
Asia?
considered an... I don't know.
I mean-
Please, guys, let us know. We need to know this. Because
Yeah, but like
You
in
brought up a
school
good
here
point.
in Italy, they say Oceania, and there's Australia plus New Zealand.
yes,
So that's the continent.
yes.
But I don't know, maybe in other.
But I also heard that Australia is considered as a continent because I know there are different ways to consider continents.
Yeah.
But then if Australia is a continent, how would you consider New Zealand be
Yeah.
part of? Need to know this.
all that territory, over 80% of Australians live within 60 miles of the
Okay, we
coast.
saw
I-
that.
yes.
This makes the country one of the most coastal dwelling populations in the world. And that means a whole lot of beaches. In fact, they have so many that if you decided to visit a new beach every day, it would
How
take you
long would it
almost
take you?
30 years to
Wow.
see them all.
I'm down
We need
for
to go
that.
there.
This property
Yeah,
in
30 years.
Australia is about 40,000 square miles in area. South Korea could fit into it with room to spare. The country's termites are busy building huge properties as well. Their mounds are the tallest animal-made
Wow.
structures on this planet. Before humans arrived, the continent was home to megafauna. If you
Oh,
lived
yeah,
there
we knew
about
that.
46,000 years ago, you'd be dead today. But you would have seen 10-foot-tall kangaroos, 23-foot-long goanna lizards, and ducks the size of an adult
Oh my
horse.
god.
Quack, quack.
It's in America. They have
The
a lot
largest
of
living
megafauna.
structure on the
Really?
planet is
Yeah.
the Australian Great Barrier Reef.
Okay.
By the way, it has its own mailbox. And there's a rumor that the fish there use eel mail. Yeah. Neither kangaroos nor emus can walk backward. That's a fact. And that's why they're painted on
really?
the Australian coat of arms. Keep moving forward. The platypus, an
okay.
Very
egg-laying
cool.
mammal that lives only in Australia, is one of the rare venomous mammals on this planet. Luckily, while the venom has an excruciatingly painful
Another
effect on people, it's not
animal
Just
that
lethal.
another
is-
animal in
Don't
Australia.
fuss with a platypus.
Okay.
By the way, when the first platypus was brought to England, people there were sure that it was a joke. The English believed that Australians had sewn a duck's bill onto a rat's body to play a trick on them. Yeah, right up until he bit them. Not laughing now, are you? Swimming in the surf during the day had been illegal in Australia up until 1902. But after
do
one
what?
guy calmly entered the legal in Australia, now are you? Swimming in the surf during
Swimming.
the day had been illegal in Australia up until
Why?
1902.
Yeah.
But after one guy calmly entered the waves of Manly Beach one afternoon that year, surf bathing became increasingly popular. The
Okay.
largest Greek
because-
population outside of Greece itself is in Australia.
Okay,
Actually, to be more
We knew
precise, in
I
Melbourne.
didn't know that.
More than
Yeah,
160,000
We saw people, or you wrote us that there are a lot of Italians, but the most people, most immigrant there are Greek.
Okay.
So.
people who live there say they come from Greek descent. Melbourne was the richest city in the world in 1880. These days, Tokyo, Japan holds this title. And until 2018, Melbourne had been rated
world.
as the most livable city in the world for 7 years in a row.
Wow.
But then it was bumped down to second place after Vienna, Austria.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Melbourne, get back in the game. One of Melbourne's
but they're
founders.
great.
Yeah,
Not
it's
the
cold.
one.
Yes.
Yep, that was his real name. And get this.
What?
Founders was John Batman. Yep, that was his real name. And get this. The city was temporarily called Batmania. Too bad they decided to change it to Robinville? Nah. In 2018, Australia ranked third after Norway and Switzerland on the Human Development Index. This index is based on education, life expectancy, and citizens' income. Basically, they got a good thing going down under there.
Yeah, they
In
have a good life.
2005, security guards at the Parliament House in Canberra were prohibited from calling people mate. But the ban only lasted for a day, mate. If you're ever in Western Australia, you can visit one of their many super salty pink lakes.
I saw this.
They get the bubblegum hue from a certain type of algae and bacteria, and they're totally safe to swim in. Just be
Wow,
careful
look at
what
that
you
picture.
chew.
Yeah.
Oh, and be sure to take a selfie while you're swimming in what looks like a giant pool of Pepto-Bismol. You can thank Australia
So
for
cool.
coming up with the word selfie in the first place.
Oh, really?
There are about 74 million sheep to 25 million people in Australia, which makes an impressive ratio of 3 to 1. Only China and India have more than that. Oh, and the kangaroo thing is totally true. There are twice as many kangaroos as there are people there. That's 50 to 25 million.
Wow.
Speaking of which, when a baby kangaroo is born, it's only half an inch
Oh,
long.
yeah, I saw.
It's
a
also
documentary about
hairless
that.
and totally
They're like
pink. Kinda looks
Really?
like a
This
gummy
small,
bear.
then they go.
No
inside
way.
This is done in
the-
Australia?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, koalas. And to top
they
that,
drink
there
milk
are
from
10
the-
times more
No.
camels than koalas. Australia is the source
Oh,
of
yeah,
a
the
lot of the
camel.
Middle
We
East
saw
that.
camels. Now, in Western Australia, it's against the law to be in possession of more than 110 pounds of potatoes.
Really?
Well, every country has its obscure, bizarre laws.
Why?
The architect of the world-famous Sydney Opera House got the idea
Please
of this
let us know
unique
why.
construction while munching on an orange.
There's that
If you
rule about
combine all
potatoes.
the
Wait, what?
idea of this
About that.
unique construction while munching on an orange, if you combine all the sails of the building's roof, you'll get a perfect sphere. The most
So,
ancient
yeah.
fossils in the world were found in Australia. They were no less than 3.4 billion years old, even older than my leftovers in the fridge. There are so many different species in this country that only 25% of them have been discovered so far.
Oh my God.
Really?
Of the animals discovered to be native to Australia, none have hooves. Burger King miraculously turns into Hungry Jack's as soon as you land in Australia. It's the Aussie franchise of the famous fast food chain. Australia is a unique continent that doesn't house any active volcanoes. It's also the flattest continent on our planet.
Really?
But
Oh,
it's got
okay.
plenty of mountains, and one
Yeah,
of them
they
is
were
called
talking about
Mount Disappointment. It's just 2,600 feet tall, and naturally, explorers William Hovell and Hamilton Hume expected to see a great view from the top. However, after climbing the mountain, they discovered that there were too many trees growing on top and blocking the
No.
view completely. Guess how the men felt? Uh-huh. Australia has tons of unique flora and fauna species that you won't find anywhere else in the world. Among those are a staggering 1,500 spider species. Spider species, yeah. On the
Yes.
bright side, and we are, while some of them are fatally poisonous, most are
It's
completely...
like, I don't know if I said this in a video before. It's not like I'm scared because I'm afraid I'll die if I come to Australia. It's like I really don't want to see spiders
Yeah.
that are bigger than this. I don't
don't
care
wanna
if I
see
die or not. And
spider
I don't
at
care
all.
if they're dangerous for my life.
Yeah, I don't want to see them.
Exactly. That's why I'm really scared.
Yeah, I'm okay with snake and everything else,
More, yeah.
but no spider.
Same.
Even if they are harmless.
Yeah, I rather see. I mean, I'm probably not that sure about what I'm saying, but I'd rather see the deadliest spider that is this big than a really
Huge.
huge,
completely
armless
harmless.
spider.
But how do I
Yeah.
tell them apart? Oh, the poisonous ones wear signs. Got it. It's also where you'll find 21 of the world's top 25 most venomous snakes.
21.
More than 90% of Australia is covered with some kind of vegetation. Since 1988, Australia has had a national floral emblem, and it's the golden wattle. When this plant blooms, it gets covered with the country's national colors, green and gold. Australia is a multinational country with more than 200 different languages and dialects spoken there. The most popular non-English languages are Mandarin, Greek,
Oh,
okay.
Arabic, Vietnamese, and Cantonese. There are 19 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Australia, including 12 natural sites, 3 cultural sites, and 4 mixed sites. The difference between Australia's total length and its width is only 200 miles. Hey, do you have an 8-hour working day? You can thank Australian stonemasons for that. In 1865, they demanded to make 8-hour shifts the standard, and it spread throughout the
I
world
would
from
prefer
there.
6 hours.
Yeah.
With 8 people per square
I don't
mile,
like Australia.
Australia has an extremely low
They're still
population
better
density.
than 12.
Yeah,
For
for sure.
comparison, there are
But they had
about
to get
93
more.
people per square mile in the U.S. The national Australian airline, Qantas, uses recycled cooking oil to power its interstate flights.
Oh,
So,
that's good.
I definitely
Right.
did learn something new
Yeah.
today, and yeah,
Yeah,
many
that was
interesting
interesting.
facts.
Yeah. It was a cool video. I
Yes.
like it. A lot of things were funny and a lot of were really interesting.
Please let me know about the potato. Like, I need to know that.
Well, thank you guys for watching us. Don't forget to put the like on the video and see you next time.
Ciao.